First contact in crisis. The emergency alert pierced through the silence of the Lunar Deep Space Observatory at 3:47 Earth Standard Time. Dr. Sarah Chen jolted awake from her light doze, nearly knocking over her cooling cup of tea. The main detection array was lighting up like a Christmas tree, something she hadn't seen in her 15 years of searching for extraterrestrial signals. System diagnostic running, she announced to the empty room, her fingers flying across the holographic interface. But this was no malfunction. The signal pattern was unlike anything in their database, yet it carried an unmistakable signature of artificial origin. Within minutes, the observatory's AI confirmed her initial assessment. The signal originated from just beyond the Kuiper Belt, and it was approaching Earth at a steady pace. Sarah's heart raced as she initiated the first contact protocols that humanity had established decades ago, but never needed to use. Hours later, the International Space Council's emergency chamber was filled with the world's leading scientists, military officials, and political leaders. The massive curved screen displayed a real-time feed from the deep space telescopes, showing what appeared to be a fleet of massive vessels, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly iridescence despite the vast distance from the sun. Admiral Helena Rodriguez, the newly appointed head of Earth's Combined Space Force, stood at the center of the chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're looking at is approximately 3,000 vessels of varying sizes, moving in a controlled formation. They're making no attempt to hide their approach. The room erupted in murmured discussions until Dr. Chen stepped forward. Admiral, we've decoded their initial transmission. She paused, double-checking her tablet. It's being broadcast in multiple Earth languages. The Admiral nodded, and Sarah played the message through the chamber speakers. A voice that somehow managed to sound both mechanical and organic filled the room. People of Earth, we are the collective of the eternal journey. Our civilization faces extinction. We carry 1.3 million refugees from across 12 star systems. Our primary drive systems have failed, and our backup systems are rapidly depleting. We seek asylum and technical assistance. The message continued with a detailed technical explanation of their situation. Their fleet had been traveling for over 50 years, using an experimental quantum fold drive to escape the aftermath of a catastrophic stellar event. The drive system had worked flawlessly until they attempted to decelerate at the edge of our solar system. Something had gone wrong, and now their entire fleet was trapped in a cascading quantum feedback loop. The irony, Dr. Chen explained to the chamber, is that their technology is far more advanced than ours in most areas. But their systems are so sophisticated, so interconnected, that when one critical component failed, it created a domino effect through their entire fleet. Admiral Rodriguez studied the technical data scrolling across her screen. They're asking for our help because we're less advanced. The question carried no mockery, only genuine curiosity. Not exactly, Sarah replied. They're asking for our help because we still understand the fundamentals. Their civilization advanced so quickly that they skipped several technological stages we're still working through. They've lost touch with the basic principles that their advanced technology is built upon. The Admiral's eyes narrowed as she processed this information. Like a modern programmer who's never seen machine code. Exactly. They need our primitive understanding to solve their very advanced problem. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity's first contact with an advanced alien civilization wasn't going to be about defending Earth from invasion or proving our worth to join some galactic federation. Instead, we were being asked to solve a problem that their advanced civilization couldn't handle. Admiral Rodriguez turned to address the chamber. I want every engineer who's ever fixed a car with duct tape and wire. Every scientist who's jury-rigged lab equipment to make it work. Every programmer who's still writing in COBOL, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. These aliens don't need our most advanced technology. They need our most basic understanding. As the chamber burst into activity, Sarah couldn't help but smile. The aliens had essentially dropped the galaxy's most complex mechanics problem into humanity's lap, and instead of being intimidated, we were rolling up our sleeves. The next 48 hours were a blur of activity. The International Space Council established direct communication with the alien fleet, while engineering teams worldwide began studying the technical data. The aliens' quantum fold drive was beyond current human understanding, but the underlying principles of energy transfer and conservation still applied. Dr. Chen worked alongside Dr. James Martinez, Earth's leading expert in quantum mechanics, to understand the feedback loop trapping the alien fleet. "It's like they're stuck in technological quicksand," James explained during one of their brief breaks. "The harder their advanced systems try to break free, the deeper they sink into the quantum distortion they created." Sarah nodded, staring at the complex equations floating in the holographic display. "So we need to think simpler. More analog." "Exactly. Their systems are too smart for their own good. They need a dumb solution." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a retired nuclear engineer, pointed out that the quantum feedback loop, while impossible to break with the aliens' sophisticated technology, might be disrupted by a sufficiently powerful but unsophisticated energy pulse. "Think of it like rebooting a computer," she explained to the international team. "Sometimes the most elegant solution is to just turn it off and turn it back on again." The plan that emerged was audacious in its simplicity. Earth would send a fleet of ships equipped with modified nuclear pulse engines, technology that humanity had largely abandoned in favor of more efficient fusion drives. The relatively crude nuclear pulses might create enough disruption in the quantum field to allow the alien ships to reset their systems. As the rescue fleet was being assembled, Sarah received a private transmission from the alien flagship. The beam on the screen had iridescent skin that shifted colors as it spoke, its multiple eyes blinking in an unsettling pattern. "Dr. Chen," it said, its translator converting its musical language to English, "I am first speaker Xylith. We have observed your species for many cycles, always believing we had nothing to learn from such a young civilization. We were wrong. Your people think in ways we have forgotten." Sarah chose her words carefully. "Sometimes the best solution isn't the most advanced one, first speaker. Sometimes you need to understand the basics before you can fix the complex problems." The alien skin shifted to a deep blue that Sarah would later learn indicated profound agreement. "Perhaps this is why the universe guided us to your solar system. We needed to be reminded that progress is not always about moving forward. Sometimes one must step back to find the correct path." As Sarah looked out her window at the ships being prepared for humanity's first interstellar rescue mission, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity was about to save an advanced alien civilization, not with superior technology, but with the very things that made us human: our ability to understand the basics, our willingness to try simple solutions, and our stubborn refusal to give up when faced with an impossible problem. The rescue mission would launch in 72 hours, and with it, humanity's place in the galaxy would change forever. But that would be just the beginning of the story. The human touch. The launch window was closing fast. Captain Maya Patel stood in the command center of the ESS Prometheus, Earth's largest rescue vessel, watching as her crew made final preparations. Around her ship, 5 other vessels of Earth's hastily assembled rescue fleet were running their pre-launch checks. Each ship carried a modified nuclear pulse drive system that had been pulled out of mothballed research facilities and retrofitted for this mission. "If my grandfather could see this," Maya muttered, running her hand along the freshly installed analog control panel. "We're literally using technology from his era to save beings who can fold space." Her executive officer, Commander David Chen, smiled as he checked the ship's readiness reports. "Sometimes the old ways are the best ways, Captain. These aliens built their civilization like a house of cards. Beautiful, complex, and incredibly fragile. We built ours like a pyramid. Crude, maybe, but solid at its foundation." The comm system crackled to life with Dr. Chen's voice from the Lunar Observatory. Rescue fleet, we're receiving updated telemetry from the alien fleet. Their power reserves are dropping faster than initially projected. We need to launch within the next 6 hours. Maya acknowledged the transmission and turned to her crew. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we're working with untested modifications to outdated technology. I know this mission seems impossible, but right now, there are over 1 million beings counting on the fact that humanity never learned to give up when faced with impossible odds. The launch sequence began as Earth's rescue fleet lifted off one by one. Maya felt the familiar rumble of engines designed before she was born, carrying technology that belonged in a museum. Yet here they were, humanity's best hope for saving an advanced civilization. The journey to the edge of the solar system was tense. The modified nuclear pulse drives performed better than expected, pushing the rescue fleet to speeds that would have seemed impossible just months ago. Every few hours, they received updates from the alien fleet. Power levels dropping, life support systems failing in the outer vessels, and the quantum feedback loop growing stronger. On the 5th day of their journey, Maya received a priority transmission from first speaker Zelith. The alien skin had shifted to a pale, sickly color that the translation software identified as indicating extreme stress. Captain Patel, we are losing ships on the outer edges of our fleet. The quantum cascade is spreading faster than our models predicted. If it reaches our central vessels, the alien's voice trailed off. Maya leaned forward in her chair. First speaker, we've modified our approach. We're going to split our fleet into 3 groups and attempt to disrupt the quantum field from multiple vectors. It's not as elegant as your systems would handle it, but elegance is a luxury we can no longer afford. Xylith interrupted. We trust in your species' ability to find a way, even if that way seems crude by our standards. The next 48 hours were a blur of activity as the rescue fleet approached the massive alien armada. Up close, the contrast between the two civilizations couldn't have been more stark. The alien vessels were works of art, their hulls flowing in impossible patterns that seemed to bend light itself. The Earth ships were bulky, utilitarian, with massive radiation shields protecting their crews from their own primitive engines. Dr. Martinez's voice came through on the secured channel from Earth. Captain Patel, our final simulations suggest the nuclear pulses need to be precisely synchronized. The timing has to be perfect, or we risk making the quantum cascade worse. Understood, Maya replied, then turned to her crew. This is why we installed analog systems, people. Their quantum computers might be able to calculate 1 trillion variables per second, but sometimes you need the human touch to feel the rhythm of things. The rescue fleet moved into position, surrounding the massive alien armada in a triangular formation. Maya's hands rested on the manual control panel, feeling the vibration of her ship's engines. Around her, her crew waited in tense silence. All ships, this is Captain Patel. On my mark, we'll initiate the pulse sequence. Remember your training. Feel the timing. These aliens crossed galaxies with their technology, but right now they need our understanding of the basics. Let's show them what humanity can do. The countdown began. Maya closed her eyes, feeling the rhythm of her ship's systems. The modified nuclear pulse drives began their sequence, building power in a way that would have seemed primitive to the aliens watching, but carried with it humanity's understanding of the fundamental forces they were about to unleash. 3, 2, 1, mark. The space around the fleet lit up as the Earth ships fired their nuclear pulse drives in perfect synchronization. The energy release was massive, crude, and exactly what was needed. The quantum feedback loop that had trapped the alien fleet began to fluctuate, its perfect but fragile pattern disrupted by the sheer brute force of humanity's primitive technology. For a moment, everything hung in the balance. Then, one by one, the alien ships began to power up. Their quantum fold drives, freed from the cascade effect, came back online. The rescue mission had worked, but the story wasn't over yet. As the alien fleet regained power, new challenges would emerge. challenges that would test both civilizations' ability to work together in ways neither had imagined possible. When old meets new, the initial success of the rescue operation quickly gave way to a new crisis. As the alien ship's quantum fold drives reactivated, the energy discharge created unexpected interactions with Earth's nuclear pulse technology. Dr. Sarah Chen watched from the Lunar Observatory as strange energy patterns began forming between the two fleets. "This is fascinating," she muttered, studying the readings. "Their quantum field is somehow harmonizing with our nuclear pulses, creating a hybrid energy signature I've never seen before." First Speaker Zilith's urgent transmission interrupted her analysis. "Dr. Chen, we're detecting a peculiar phenomenon. Our quantum fold drives are drawing power from your nuclear pulses, amplifying both technologies in ways our scientists didn't think possible." The implications hit Sarah like a thunderbolt. "Captain Patel," she called over the emergency channel, "you need to maintain the pulse sequence. The alien fleet isn't just restarting. They're integrating our energy signature into their systems." On the bridge of the Prometheus, Maya Patel quickly grasped the situation. What had started as a crude rescue attempt was evolving into something unprecedented, a fusion of humanity's fundamental understanding of nuclear physics with the aliens' advanced quantum technology. "All ships, maintain formation," she ordered. "Let's see where this leads us." Over the next 12 hours, the combined human and alien engineering teams worked frantically to understand and stabilize the emerging energy pattern. Dr. Martinez, coordinating from Earth, discovered that the quantum cascade hadn't been merely disrupted. It had been transformed into a new type of power distribution network. "It's like we accidentally invented a whole new form of energy transfer," he explained during an emergency briefing. "Their quantum technology is using our nuclear pulses as a foundation, building something that neither of our civilizations could have created alone." The alien ships began moving closer to the Earth vessels, their iridescent hulls pulsing with a combination of quantum and nuclear energy. First Speaker Zilith's image appeared on screens across both fleets, its skin shifting through colors that the translation software couldn't quite interpret. "We have spent centuries perfecting our technology, believing that advancement meant leaving the fundamental forces behind," the alien leader said. "Yet here we are, watching as your primitive understanding of these forces transforms our entire power distribution system." Commander Chen, studying the energy readings on the Prometheus, shook his head in amazement. "We're not just fixing their ships, we're revolutionizing how they work. Our nuclear pulses are providing a stable foundation for their quantum field manipulations." The integration process wasn't without its dangers. Several times, power surges threatened to overwhelm both human and alien vessels. But each crisis was met with a combination of alien computational precision and human intuition. Engineers from both species learned to work together, creating impromptu solutions that bridged the vast technological gap between their civilizations. Dr. Tanaka, watching from Earth, noted that the aliens were beginning to incorporate analog backup systems into their quantum networks. "They're learning from us," she reported, "not just using our energy, but adopting our philosophy of redundancy and basic mechanical backups." The alien fleet, once in danger of complete collapse, was transforming before their eyes. Ships that had been designed to run purely on quantum principles now housed hybrid systems that combined the best of both civilizations' technologies. The iridescent hulls began to display new patterns, swirling with the combined energy signatures of quantum fields and nuclear pulses. First Speaker Zilith requested permission to come aboard the Prometheus, marking the first physical meeting between the two species. As the alien leader emerged from the docking tube, its crystalline environment suit reflecting the light in ways that made human eyes water, Maya felt the weight of history on her shoulders. "Captain Patel," Zilith's translator conveyed, "my people have traveled among the stars for generations. We have encountered many civilizations, most far more technologically advanced than yours. Yet none of them could have done what you have done here." Maya gestured to the newly modified control panels on her bridge, where digital quantum displays now sat alongside analog gauges. "We didn't just save your fleet, first speaker. We've created something entirely new together." The alien leader's skin shifted to a deep, resonant purple. "Perhaps this is why the universe guided us here. Not simply to be rescued, but to learn that true advancement comes not from abandoning the old ways, but from finding ways to make them work with the new." As the hybrid energy patterns stabilized across both fleets, it became clear that this was more than a rescue mission. Humanity had not only saved an advanced civilization, but had also helped create a new paradigm of space travel, one that combined the reliability of fundamental forces with the efficiency of quantum mechanics. But even as the immediate crisis passed, new questions arose. The alien fleet, now powered by technology that neither civilization fully understood, would need a safe haven to study and perfect these hybrid systems. And Earth, having proven itself capable of innovating beyond anyone's expectations, would need to prepare for its new role in an interstellar community that suddenly viewed humanity very differently. The real challenges and opportunities were just beginning. Trial by fire. 3 weeks after the successful integration of human and alien technologies, Earth's solar system was buzzing with unprecedented activity. The alien fleet had taken up temporary orbit around Jupiter, their massive ships now serving as floating laboratories where both species worked to understand the hybrid technology they created. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the newly established Joint Technology Center on Europa, watching through reinforced windows as teams of human and alien engineers conducted experiments with the hybrid drive systems. The center, built in record time using a combination of Earth materials and alien construction techniques, symbolized the rapidly evolving partnership between the two civilizations. The energy efficiency readings are off the charts, Dr. Martins reported, his holographic image floating beside her. The quantum field is using our nuclear pulses as a foundation, but it's achieving power levels that neither technology could reach independently. But success had brought its own complications. The International Space Council was flooded with concerns from Earth governments about sharing technology with an alien civilization. Meanwhile, the collective of the Eternal Journey faced pressure from other alien species who feared that humanity's primitive influence might destabilize the careful balance of advanced technologies they relied upon. Captain Maya Patel, now serving as Earth's primary liaison with the alien fleet, found herself navigating increasingly complex diplomatic waters. During a high-level meeting in the Europa facility, she faced pointed questions from both human and alien representatives. "How can we be certain this hybrid technology is stable?" demanded a UN official. "We're mixing nuclear physics with quantum mechanics in ways that defy our current understanding." First speaker Zilith, its skin rippling with thoughtful patterns of blue and gold, responded before Maya could. "Perhaps that is precisely why it works. Your species' understanding of fundamental forces, combined with our quantum manipulation abilities, has created something that transcends both our limitations." The debate was interrupted by urgent alerts from the Jupiter Orbital Monitoring System. A massive solar flare, far larger than anything recorded in recent history, was heading directly toward the outer solar system. The alien fleet, still adapting to their new hybrid systems, lay directly in its path. "Evacuation is impossible," Commander Chen reported from the Prometheus. "Even with the hybrid drives, we can't move a fleet that size quickly enough." Maya watched as both human and alien experts rushed to analyze the threat. The solar flare would hit in less than 6 hours, carrying enough energy to overwhelm even the advanced shielding of the alien vessels. Their quantum systems, still integrated with Earth's nuclear technology, might not be able to handle the massive energy surge. Then Dr. Tanaka, who had been quietly studying the hybrid systems, spoke up. "What if we don't try to avoid it? What if we use it instead?" All eyes turned to the elderly nuclear engineer. She quickly explained her theory. The hybrid drive systems they'd created could potentially channel the solar flare's energy, using human nuclear pulse technology to absorb the initial impact and alien quantum systems to distribute and process the power. "It's crazy," Dr. Martinez objected. The energy levels would be astronomical. Exactly. Sarah Chen interrupted, catching on to Dr. Tanaka's idea. Our primitive nuclear pulse technology is crude but incredibly robust. It can handle massive energy spikes that would overwhelm more sophisticated systems if we modify the hybrid drives to act as a distributed network. First speaker Zillith's skin shifted to a deep, resonant purple, a color that humans had learned indicated profound realization. You propose to turn our entire fleet into a massive energy conversion network, using your nuclear pulse technology as a foundation and our quantum systems as a processing matrix. The next 5 hours were a blur of activity as both species worked frantically to modify the hybrid systems. Human engineers, used to working with the raw power of nuclear reactions, helped redesign the energy absorption protocols. Alien technicians, masters of quantum field manipulation, reconfigured their networks to handle the converted power. As the solar flare approached, Maya stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, which had been integrated into the alien fleet's defense network. Around her, human analog displays sat alongside alien quantum monitors, both showing the approaching wall of solar plasma. All ships, maintain formation, she ordered. Remember your training. Feel the rhythm of the systems. Don't fight the energy. Guide it. The solar flare hit with devastating force. The hybrid drive network activated, human nuclear pulse technology absorbing the initial impact, while alien quantum systems processed and redistributed the energy. For several tense minutes, the fate of both fleets hung in the balance as unprecedented levels of power coursed through their combined systems. Then, gradually, the energy readings began to stabilize. The hybrid network hadn't just survived, it had successfully converted the solar flare's destructive power into usable energy. The alien fleet's power reserves were now fuller than they had been in generations. Remarkable. First speaker Zillith's voice carried tones that the translation software interpreted as awe. Your species' understanding of raw forces, combined with our quantum manipulation abilities, has turned a potential disaster into a triumph. As the crisis passed, Maya realized that this event would change everything. They hadn't just proven that the hybrid technology worked, they'd demonstrated its potential to revolutionize how both civilizations approach space travel and energy generation. But as reports began coming in from across both fleets, she also understood that they had crossed a point of no return. The relationship between humanity and the collective of the eternal journey had been transformed by their shared trial by fire. The question now was, what would they build together with this new understanding? Legacy of Two Worlds. 6 months after the solar flare incident, Earth had changed in ways few could have predicted. The Jupiter-Europa corridor had become a hub of interstellar activity, with the alien fleet's presence transforming the outer solar system into a crucible of innovation. But more significant than the technological advances were the philosophical changes reshaping both civilizations. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the observation dome of the new Hybrid Technology Institute on Europa, watching as construction drones built the framework for what would become humanity's first quantum nuclear shipyard. The massive structure combined Earth's robust industrial practices with alien quantum engineering, creating something entirely new. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Dr. Martinez said, joining her at the window. "Not just the technology, but what it represents." Sarah nodded, remembering how this all started with a desperate distress call and humanity's primitive solution. We gave them back their fundamentals, and they showed us the stars. The Institute had become more than just a research facility. It was a living symbol of how two vastly different approaches to science and technology could complement each other. Human engineers taught alien specialists about redundancy, mechanical backups, and the importance of understanding basic principles. In return, the aliens helped humanity grasp quantum mechanics in ways that would have taken centuries to discover independently. On the other side of Jupiter, Captain Maya Patel supervised the final tests of the first human-built ship, incorporating the hybrid drive technology. The vessel, named Bridgemaker, represented everything they'd learned over the past months. Its engine room contained both advanced quantum processors and sturdy analog controls. Its hull was made of Earth metals, but incorporated alien crystalline structures. Ready for final power-up sequence, Commander Chen reported from his station. All systems showing green. First Speaker Zilith, now a permanent liaison to Earth, watched from the observation deck, its skin shifting through shades of anticipation. "Your species continues to surprise us," it said through the now familiar translator. "You've adapted our quantum technology faster than we believed possible, yet you've insisted on maintaining your basic systems alongside it." Maya smiled, remembering the early debates about this design philosophy. "We learned from your experience." First Speaker, advancing too quickly, losing touch with the fundamentals. That's what made your fleet vulnerable in the first place. We're determined not to repeat that mistake. The Bridgemaker's successful launch marked a turning point. The ship's hybrid systems performed perfectly, demonstrating that humanity could build and operate this new technology independently. But more importantly, it proved that the partnership between the two civilizations had created something truly sustainable. Back on Earth, Dr. Tanaka presented her findings to the International Space Council. The elderly nuclear engineer had become a symbol of humanity's contribution to this new age, her outdated knowledge helping bridge the gap between fundamental forces and quantum mechanics. "The hybrid technology isn't just about space travel," she explained to the assembled leaders. "It's about understanding that progress doesn't always mean abandoning the old for the new. Sometimes, true advancement comes from finding ways to make them work together." Her words resonated beyond the technical implications. Across Earth, the presence of the alien fleet and the success of the hybrid technology project had sparked a renaissance in basic research. Young scientists were no longer content to simply use advanced technology. They wanted to understand the principles behind it. The collective of the eternal journey was experiencing its own cultural transformation. After generations of pushing forward with ever more advanced technology, they had rediscovered the value of fundamental knowledge. Many of their ships now incorporated human-inspired backup systems, and their training programs emphasized understanding basic principles alongside quantum theory. 1 year after the initial distress call, both civilizations gathered to celebrate the opening of the first joint academy on Europa. The facility would train a new generation of engineers and scientists from both species, teaching them to bridge the gap between fundamental forces and quantum mechanics. During the ceremony, First Speaker Zilith presented Captain Patel with a crystal containing the complete history of their encounter, encoded in both quantum states and simple binary. "We have added this story to our eternal archives," it announced. "Let it stand as a reminder that wisdom can come from unexpected sources, and that true strength lies not in the complexity of our tools, but in our understanding of how to use them." Maya accepted the crystal, thinking about how far they'd come from that first desperate rescue mission. "We went from being your last resort to your partners," she said. "And in the process, both our peoples learned something valuable about progress." Sarah Chen, watching the ceremony from her position among Earth's scientific delegation, felt a sense of profound satisfaction. Humanity had proven itself not by matching the aliens' advanced technology, but by showing them the value of what they'd forgotten. The hybrid systems were more than just a technological breakthrough. They were a testament to the importance of understanding the basics while reaching for the stars. As the celebration continued, the first group of joint human-alien crews prepared to launch a fleet of hybrid ships. These vessels would carry both civilizations' knowledge and culture to the stars, not as separate entities, but as a unified force combining the best of both worlds. The universe, they had learned, was vast enough for both quantum leaps and small steps, for both cutting-edge advancement and fundamental understanding. The story of humanity's first contact with advanced alien life hadn't ended with a simple rescue mission. Instead, it had evolved into something far more significant. A reminder that sometimes the most important advances come not from reaching forward, but from remembering what lies behind. As both civilizations looked to the future, They did so with a new appreciation for the balance between innovation and understanding, between the new and the old, between the quantum and the fundamental forces that govern them all. And somewhere in deep space, the quantum nuclear drives of the new hybrid ships pulsed with energy, carrying this lesson to the stars.